I greet you all in the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, the only one true God, beside whom there is no other, beside whom there is no one, the omnipresent, the omniscient, the omnipotent, the one and the only. He gave birth to no one, and no one gave birth to him, and he has no beginning, he has no end. In this way, we have to consider a certain figure, a certain personality in the Bible called the Melchizedek. Have you ever heard that name? It's Melchizedek. He is in the book of Hebrews chapter 7, verses 1 to 4. You know what they say about him? They say this man, or not even, we don't know, okay, he has to be a man because they say he's the king of Salem. Melchizedek, he has no father. He has no mother. He has no genealogy. He has no beginning of life. He has no end of life. He continues to live forever. Can you hear that? Someone who no mother, no father, no genealogy, no beginning of life, no end of life. He continues to live forever. Unfortunately, they now lied on Jesus, that this man looked like Jesus. And now look, how do you now reconcile the personalities? Where is the similitude between Melchizedek and Jesus? At least Jesus had a mother, and they had a beginning. We all knew when he was born, and you celebrate his birthday. Although you don't celebrate the birthday of Melchizedek. I don't know why. If you are able to, if you say Melchizedek is like Jesus, why you celebrating only the birthday of Jesus without celebrating the birthday for Melchizedek? It's an injustice, you know. Try to do it. Try to amend, you know. So Melchizedek is totally a fairy figure, because all the honors, all the profiling of Melchizedek, nobody can bear it. Only the Almighty God is one, who has no beginning, who has no end, who has no genealogy, who does not die, who is immortal forever. Only the Almighty God. Why now giving the honor that belongs to the Almighty God to a man, a non-existing man, who said nothing in the Bible? They now said something about Melchizedek that will shock you. They say the man went ahead to collect tithes from Abraham, that Abraham went to kill kings, so many. He killed so many kings. He went to not even kill it out, to slaughter kings. And when he came to give tithes to Melchizedek. And you know what they mean of Melchizedek? They say he's the king of peace, king of Salem. Then I wonder, you are a king of peace, and somebody has just to kill so many people, so many kings, that Abraham had gone to kill so many people, to slaughter. I now brought the gift to you. You say, one day they have come to give you. These are the booty. Go here, have it. Melchizedek, king of peace. I know that's a very delicate dimension to describing Melchizedek as the king of peace. Do you know what it means? That is a danger. The danger is that earlier on, you said, according to the Bible, that Melchizedek is the king of peace. What is the relationship between the king of peace and the prince of peace? The king of peace is the father of the prince of peace. And in Isaiah chapter 9 verse 6, Jesus was described as the prince of peace. Jesus described as the prince of peace. Melchizedek was described as the king of peace. What is the relationship between the king of peace and the prince of peace? Does it mean that Melchizedek is the father of Jesus? I'm just thinking aloud. But if I'm taught the meaning of a king of peace and the prince of peace and the subsisting relationship between the king and the prince, then it will appear as if, in all probability, from the perspective of the Bible, then maybe we're just saying that, or they are just saying that in the Bible, that Melchizedek, the king of peace, in Hebrews chapter 7, verses 1 to 4, is the father of the prince of peace, who happens to be Jesus in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. You see the danger now? So I think you have to really take out Melchizedek from the Bible, because in the entire Bible, Melchizedek did not utter a word. He said nothing. A fairy figure. They just put him there and they cannot explain his origin. What does he come to do? Okay, if you say that Melchizedek happened to be the king of peace because he had no father, he had no mother, he had no genealogy, what about Adam? Who is the father of Adam? Who is the mother of Adam? Where is the genealogy of Adam? At least at that time he came. Adam had a beginning and he had an end. But Melchizedek, if you say he had no beginning, he has no end, where is Melchizedek now? And you see him, you call him the king of peace. Where is he exercising his peaceful power in the world today? So, a lot of work will still have to be done on the Bible, because we are aware effort has still been made to harmonize even the synoptic gospels. The four synoptic gospels, they're still working hard to harmonize the differences between them. Because the four synoptic gospels were said to be saying the same thing about Jesus at the same time and from the same point. But yet, when you read one, you will assume, because they said they are synoptic, you will assume that you have read all, but you are gravely mistaken. By the time you now step into the Bible, you will see one here, you will see another thing here. All the four contradictory messages, contradictory information. Even with the copying of the entire book of Gospel according to St. Matthew from St. Mark, it was a copied figure. He only amended it and called it St. Matthew's Gospel. And in the case of St. Luke, do you know that St. Luke was never a disciple of Jesus? St. Luke, he was never a disciple of Jesus. Go and read in Matthew chapter 10, all the disciples. He was never. And when he wrote his gospel, said to be the gospel according to St. Luke, what did he do? He addressed it only to Theophilus. He didn't address it to the Christians. Was Theophilus a Christian? He just addressed it to him. Well, take, this is for you. When he wrote the Acts of Apostles, he did the same thing. He addressed it personally to Theophilus, not to the Christians. I hope you have an understanding of this message. That Jesus was never like Melchizedek. There was no relationship whatsoever between Jesus and Melchizedek. And Melchizedek as a person can never be. Because all the appellations that have been given to him belongs only, exclusively to the Almighty God. It is only the Almighty God who does not have a beginning. It is only the Almighty God who does not have an end. It is only Almighty God who does not have genealogy. It is only Almighty God who remains forever. Not Melchizedek. Do you know this man at all? Where did he come from? How did he get into the Bible? Okay, was it God who revealed to the writer, whoever, because up till now, nobody knows who is the writer of the book of Hebrews. You may be wondering, it is Paul. No, they were suggesting it was Paul initially. It has now become a reality that it was never Paul. And if you want to find out the veracity of this claim, go and check the New Living Translation of the Bible, where it was clearly admitted that, look, this particular person, we do not know the writer of this gospel, according of Hebrews. And do you know one thing? Why should the book of Hebrews be in the book of the Greeks? The New Testament was written in Greek. And you are now bringing a Bible written in Hebrew to the Greek. There must be an error. You better take the book of Hebrews to the Old Testament written in Hebrew language and leave the Greek language to the New Testament which was written in Greek. May Allah keep all of us guided. So the understanding of His word will be unfolded. And in particular, as I've mentioned, there are two books we have now on our table. The rare sermons, an incisive discourse on amazing verses of the Bible, and the other, Allah is the Almighty God. They will tell you so much that you have never known, that you have never had. And you cannot read these books and never feel satisfied that you have got real information that will guide you into the truth of the religions of the world. May Allah keep all of us guided.